If you're planning to buy a power bank and you are scrolling on Amazon or AliExpress, before buying the 80,000 mAh power bank at $5, please watch this video, because they are fooling you and fooling even the laws of physics. In the world of lithium batteries, capacity is physically tied to volume and mass, and current commercial batteries peaks at specific energy density of around 250 to 270 watt-hours per kilogram. Just by holding this fake device, I suspect the 20,000 mAh battery that is written here are a little bit off. Today we're gonna talk about the great scam that is going on with batteries on AliExpress. Here I have two devices, a legit Charmast power bank and one Chinese $5 20,000 mAh battery. And let's start with a simple test. This consists on weighing the mass of the power banks, and if we are excluding the enclosure that is almost the same on the two, and the battery management system, as well as some even damping inside of it, we can get the raw mass of the power banks. And just by taking them in hands, you know something is off. Because if I weight the real one, the weight is about 400 grams. But when I take in hand the cheap one, it's very lightweight. And the weight is only 240 grams. The only way this weight would be correct is if they discovered a revolutionary new battery technology and sold it for me for only $5. Spoiler, they didn't. But before we hook up a load, we need to address why mAh is the wrong metric to look at it. mAh measure electric charge, which is current over time, and it tells you how many electrons are in the tank. But it ignores the pressure of those electrons, which is voltage. So if you write the formula, there is energy, that is in watt-hour, is charge ampere-hour times voltage. This is the classic formula that matters, watt-hours. And let me prove why 80,000 mAh is a trap. Take a standard AA alkaline battery. It has about 2,500 mAh, but it runs at 1.5 volts. And now take a lithium-ion cell. It also has 200 and 500 mAh, but it runs at 3.7 volts. 2.5 times 1.5 gives 3.75 watt-hours. But on lithium-ion batteries, 2.5 ampere-hours times 3.7 operation voltage gives 9.25 watt-hours. The lithium cells contains nearly 3 times the energy of an alkaline battery. This is why the aviation industry limits batteries on planes to 100 watt-hours. Not a specific milliampere number, they care about the storage energy. So if this power bank really gives 80,000 mAh battery at the nominal voltage of 3.7 volts of lithium, we can make a quick math of 80 ampere-hours times 3.7 volts that gives 296 watt-hour battery. That is essentially a small car battery. Looking at the size and weight, this claim is a fraud. There is another layer to the deception: conversion efficiency. In fact, the cells inside here are nominal 3.7 volts, but the USB standard requires 5 volts, so to bridge this gap, the battery management system uses a DC-DC step-up converter. This process is not thermodynamically free, so a high-end VRM, a voltage regulator module, might be 95% efficient, for example. But in cheap devices like this, we are looking at maybe 80 to 85% efficiency, so the rest is lost in heat. So even if the cells were legitimate, you mathematically lose about 35% of the stated capacity, purely due to voltage boost and thermal dissipation that are extremely needed, especially on power delivery, where you want to deliver 20 volts on the output. But the real killer is not how they treat the battery management system. is how they test the cells. Now, to explain better, I'm connecting an electronic load to set a constant current. This simulates a modern phone charging. Watch the voltage very closely. We are seeing significant voltage sag. And according to Ohm's law, that voltage is equal to current times resistance of the circuit. This voltage drop is caused by the high internal resistance of the chip cells and poor circuitry. High resistance means energy is being dissipated as heat inside the case instead of charging your phone. This brings us the C rate for batteries. A reputable brand rates capacity at a realistic discharge, so for phones like 0.5C or 1C. But generic brands likely rate this 80,000 number using a C20 rate. That means that they drain the battery in over 20 hours using a very tiny current to minimize resistance losses and heat losses. Furthermore, they likely drain it down to 2.5 volts, that is the deep discharge zone, which damages the cell chemistry but inflates the number. In the real world, the battery management system cuts off the battery at 3.0 volts to prevent fires and excessive discharging. So you are paying for a capacity that exists only in laboratory conditions between 2.5 to 3 volts, which you can never access if you don't want to damage your battery. Let's confirm this theory with an autopsy. Here is the truth. I'm dissecting this power bank that is not the same as before, but still a Chinese cheap power bank. And we can see this circuit that is the battery management system, these wires that are incredibly thin, and this creates a bottleneck for current, directly contributing to the voltage sag that we saw earlier. And the cells, these are generic, likely grade B 18650 cells. And based on 3000 mAh per cell, we would need roughly 27 cells to hit 80,000 mAh. Now in this power bank they claim 5000 mAh of battery, but we have only one cell. We would need at least 2 to reach that capacity. In conclusion, the 80,000 mAh battery pack claim is a fabrication based on 4 pillars of deceptions. First of all, ignoring the 3.7 to 5 volts conversion math gained by the DC-DC converter, and testing at unrealistic C rates, C20 for example, using a dangerous deep discharge cutoff of 2.5 volts, and mostly just lying about the physical number of cells. So when buying power storage, ignore the marketing stickers, ignore what they are advertising to you. Look at the watt hours behind the back, and mostly the weight. And after seeing all these tests in hand, take a good decision. If you like this video, please leave a like down here and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.